Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this morning's video. It's Monday at GazWeather.com, which means only one thing, it's Europe Day. Monday at GazWeather, we have a look at weather for the coming week across the continent, and today is no exception. Now, very good. Over Monday morning European Outlook, just want to say about the ads. There's links to articles on all pages at GazWeather.com, have browser widgets. Any articles that you're interested in, please click through. You'll be able to go and read those articles. Thanks very much for doing that. The charts we're using for the European Outlook are coming from weathercentral.de. You can find a link to that on the links page. So let's get on with it. And here's the situation for today across Europe. We've got a big area of high pressure sitting out to west and the northwest of Europe, keeping many western and northwest parts of Europe mainly dry. It is much more unsettled across Scandinavia as the areas coming around the top of that high pressure and bringing unsettled weather down there. I mean, it's pretty unsettled through the Mediterranean as well, actually. Certainly for the time of year, pressure is relatively weak. We have got some showers across parts of southern Europe. Here's the upper air temperatures, and despite that, the high pressure is in the northwest of Europe. It's very, very cool for the time of year across much of Ireland, the UK, central parts of France, into Belgium, Holland, the Low Countries, through much of Germany and Denmark. And then, of course, we go northwards into Scandinavia, where it's very cool. Also, notice it is quite a hot scene through Spain and Portugal, and going through the Med and up in towards southeastern and some eastern parts of Europe as well. But it really is in the south and the southeast that have got the heat. Very cool scene for the time of year in the north and west. So here's the risk of precipitation today. This rainfall chart, we can see that we could have some showers over Scandinavia. Which of those could be quite heavy, maybe a shower parts of central East England. But a lot of dry weather actually through much of France, Belgium, Holland, Germany, and Poland. Lots of dry weather going into the east and southeast Europe also. But coming further south, we find these heavy showers and thunderstorms through parts of the Mediterranean. So particularly through southern parts of Germany and going down in towards the Alps, then down through Italy, lots of heavy showers and thunderstorms there. Parts of Corsica, Sardinia could have some heavy showers, could have some thunderstorms in southeast Europe, and even through the western basin of the Mediterranean. There could be a rogue shower or thunderstorms through parts of North Africa, some parts of northern Spain, Portugal. Quite unusual for the time of year to have such widespread showers across the Mediterranean, but that's certainly what it looks like it's going to be this afternoon. As a risk of thunder is going to be today, the Cape charts, convective potential, shows that it really is through the Med in the south and southeast Europe. We have the risk of those thunderstorms, not much, with high pressure further north. And the hot weather is through the south of Europe as well. So that's the compensatory factor, although there will be these thunderstorms scattered around. It will be hot through southern parts of France, temperatures there, 32 degrees, 90 Fahrenheit, and it extends down into Spain and Portugal, and then through the Med into southeast Europe. Very hot scene. Much cooler, though, central, northern and northwestern parts of Europe today. Going through to the middle part of the week, the high pressure is still there out to the northwest, and we've still got low pressure as weak and slack features down through the Mediterranean and through southern parts of Europe. And this area of low pressure is bringing even cooler air into northern parts of Scandinavia. So it's a hot scene still through the Med and up in towards the east and the southeast Europe, and then it's cooler in these central, western and northwestern regions. Heavy showers and thunderstorms still going on really through the south of Europe as going to the middle part of the week, and they'll be getting more widespread across France as well. Some violent thunderstorms there on Wednesday, but down through the Med again, it's those holiday regions, but unusually for the time of year, could see some thunderstorms. So eastern parts of Spain, for instance, here being indicated to have some storms, maybe around the costas, which is very unusual for this time of year. Then those storms could extend in toward the Balearic Islands of Mallorca, Minorca and Ibiza, and going on into Corsica, Sardinia as well. We could have those thunderstorms as well. Thunderstorms around the Côte d'Azur, in the south of France, and then going over the Alps and down into Italy, some heavy thunderstorms through those regions. They go over the Adriatic into the Balkans and down into Greece. Further north, a lot of dry weather through many parts of Ireland, the UK, northern France, the Low Countries, Germany, much of Poland, Denmark, lots of dry weather in those regions with an area of high pressure ridging in, but then more showers and longer spells of rain will be heading into particularly Norway and pushing through in towards Sweden, and possibly some outbreaks of rain for Finland as well. Convective potential shows that risk of lightning and thunder will be through much of the Med through the middle part of the week. in the form of scattered storms, so not everywhere will get these storms, but certainly more convection there than you would think, and more rainfall really than you would think at this time of year. So it's cool out in the northwest Europe, very cool, you can't see it, but it's very cool for Scandinavia as well. But through the Med, we've got hot temperatures extending to southeast Europe. 31 degrees is around 90 Fahrenheit in many southeastern parts of Europe through the middle part of the week. We go through to the end of the week and low pressure is pushing northwards out of France or across France, out of the Mediterranean, Spain and Portugal. It's moving north in towards the Low Countries and Germany as we go through to the end of the week. We're also bringing up hotter air from the Med as well, but it's unstable. Low pressure is definitely here in the west and central parts of Europe at the end of the week. There's those hot temperatures pushing out of the central bowl of the Mediterranean, central basin of the Med, pushing north in towards central parts of Europe. But it's still very cool across Scandinavia, and those cool temperatures extend down into Ireland and the UK as well. So lots of heavy showers and thunderstorms at the end of the week, maybe longer spells of thundery rain being indicated here coming out of the Med into France particularly, and then going northwards into Belgium and Holland, carrying on north of that, possibly into towards parts of Germany as well. Violent thunderstorms potentially through parts of northern Italy. But you notice that through the Med, actually, as these storms and the area of low pressure bringing them pushes northwards, it is starting to dry out a little bit through the Med. So we're losing those thunderstorms through parts of Mediterranean and southeast Europe as we get through to the end of the week. Showers or longer spells of rain up across Scandi. Convective potential at the end of the week shows risk of lightning and thunder here for central parts of Europe, and that also extends down in towards central bowl of the Mediterranean, although I'm not sure we'll realise that convective potential at the end of the week because pressure is lifting up a little bit. So although there is potential for some convection, actually it could well stay dry through much of the Med at the end of the week with a risk of thunder further north. And the temperatures show it's going to be heating up across central parts of Europe as well at the end of the week. We're pushing that heat out of North Africa and the Med into central parts of Europe. So Germany, for instance, going up to 30 degrees, 86 Fahrenheit, with that heat extending through Poland and going on in towards Ukraine even as well. So many central east parts of Europe turning hot at the end of the week. It's really just in the northwest of Europe for Ireland, poor old UK, and Scandinavia, where we remain in those cooler temperatures. But most parts of Europe will be pretty hot at the end of the week. Finally, have a look at weather for next weekend, and I think it's really an east-west split by that time. The heat is going to be in the east and the southeast Europe, as again the air is pumping the heat out of North Africa across Eastern Europe. At the same time, Western and Central parts of Europe will be much cooler under this area of low pressure and pretty unsettled as well. The upper air temperature shown is split very nicely. The heat is in the east, becoming very hot across some eastern parts of Europe. Could see temperatures possibly getting up to 35, 36 degrees across some parts of the Balkans, for instance, by next weekend, well into 90s Fahrenheit. But look how cool it is out in the western and northwest of Europe. These northerly winds continue to bring the air down from, well, certainly the northern part of the Atlantic, maybe in some polar influences in there as well for parts of Ireland and the UK and for Scandinavia. This area of heavy rain and thunderstorms will mark the dividing line between the heat in the east and the cooler temperatures in the west. So central parts of Europe very wet through into next weekend, mainly dry, very hot in the east, and then very cool and showery out in the northwest of Europe. The convective potential is pushing eastwards with the heat, and there's the temperatures at the end of the week and into next weekend. Real east and southeast to west and northwest split. Look how hot it is down in the southeast of Europe. 35, 36 degrees, maybe even up to 37 across parts of the Balkans and Greece, and going northwards up towards the Black Sea by the time we get through to next weekend. That's getting on for 100 Fahrenheit in those areas. But conversely, look how cool it is across the north and west. France, for instance, just 19 degrees, 66 Fahrenheit. Much of the UK and Ireland pegged back into the mid-teens Celsius. Very, very disappointing temperatures indeed next weekend. And you can't really see it, but those very cool temperatures extend through Germany, Denmark and Scandinavia as well. So that's how it's looking across the continent this week. I think going to have a pretty unsettled start to the week down across the Med. Certainly for the time of year, not going to be washed out, of course, but unusually thundery through parts of bed early on in the week. Then the risk of the storms and the heat will push north in certain parts of Europe and across France through the middle of that stage of the week. Then it'll all push eastwards, taking some very hot air into the east of Europe. But always in the north and the west, for Ireland, the UK, generally the Low Countries, Denmark and Scandinavia, a very cool scene this week. Temperatures below average and probably increasingly unsettled as well. That's it for now. We'll do it all again next week. That's it for now, though. Thanks for watching. Bye.